This video is going to be a walkthrough of how to use a free open source iMessage exporting tool from GitHub that will allow you to export a conversation from iMessages from your iPhone as a .text file. Now there are some paid services like iMazing that you can use that have a user interface that is a little bit easier to navigate. But if you don't want to pay the $30 to $50 a month, this tool is going to be a good option. I've already done this once, but I want to make this video in case anyone ever needs to extract text messages as a .text file to run analysis or data mine or whatever you need to do with it. It got recommended to me by Gemini. That's why I am on Gemini right here, but I just closed out the chat. So I'm going to open up the GitHub repository where it's located, and you can just go and type in iMessage exporter GitHub to find it. And it's this top one by username ReagentX. Shout out to him for working on this project along with all the other contributors. And I'm going to show how to do the easy way, which is I'm basically going to just have Claude Code run most of the command prompts for me. If you have experience using the terminal, you could definitely do this without using any tokens, Claude Code. But since it's 2026, I'm going to show this super easy and efficient way using Claude Code to just put in the commands in the terminal for me. You're going to come to the repository. I would read, there's two readmes. There's one in this folder, in the root folder here. It's basically like the general software description. And then this other one, which is in the iMessage exporter subfolder, readme.markdown. And this has the commands you're going to put into the terminal to use it if you want to go more of a manual route and just use the terminal. Going back to the home repository, all you have to do is click this down arrow, download the zip file, and then extract the files that are in that folder. And once you have it downloaded, I use the IDE to run Claude Code, so I'm going to open that up. I already have it open here, but I'm going to back out. So as if you had just opened it, I'm going to go to File, Open Folder, reopen everything. It is right here. That's going to be the extracted files after you download the zip folder. And I opened it up, and here are all the folders. Now again, you could open the README here, check that out. And then the other one, which is in here. And I'm going to open terminal just to run Claude Code and make sure you're in the folder, which it should automatically do for you. Run Claude. I'm going to give you the basic information where I am describing that I'm trying to export messages from my iPhone. I am using this open source tool to export an iMessage conversation from my iPhone. So I already have my iPhone plugged into the laptop, which you're going to need to do. My iPhone, can you help me run the terminal commands to get my target conversation? If you're watching this video, you're also going to use Claude Code. There are 3 install requirements, but you can technically have Claude Code go and install using the win-get command to install Rust, a VS Code extension, and then Windows SDK software development kit. I do have Rust and Windows SDK installed. The first thing it's going to have me do probably is back up my iPhone to the computer so it has the data to look at. I'm going to let it run. It's going to explore the contents of the repository. I need to tell Claude which format, what kind of file I want the text messages to be exported as. I'm going to just do it as a .text file. And no, I do not need any of the media attachments. As I mentioned previously, Claude's using tokens, which costs money, but you could run this entire project using the CLI if you have that skill level. And I'm going to ask Claude can you run the Apple devices app? My phone is already plugged in. We're about to back up the iPhone, as I mentioned earlier, so that the files are accessible. Before it backs up, I have to type in an encryption password, which if you're transferring information from your phone to your laptop, generally, you should probably have an encryption password. I think Apple asks you to have it, or you can turn the encryption off. I will just enter the encryption password in a separate terminal. And let me manually type in the phone number. Claude needs the phone number, email of the person, the conversation, or the contact name, and then the location of the folder where the backup is going to, but it's going to be able to auto detect that. Claude just opened up the Apple devices app, and all I have to do is click backup. Make sure that I'm backing up everything and that it's encrypted. And this is going to take 15 minutes, and you have to type your password in. and I will be back in 15 minutes. Once this is done backing up, I'm just going to give Claude the phone number of the conversation that I want backed up, and then it should run an export command, which will pull all of the conversation into a .text file. It's almost done, and I'm going to move the IDE. I'm going to move this terminal out of view because I'm going to give Claude Code the phone number that I need to do. Let me just make sure the backup's done first. Almost done. So the only thing that I'm typing in that I won't show on screen is done. The phone number I need to extract is, all right, Claude is running that right now. I'm going to let this run and make sure that the phone number doesn't show up in any of the paths, because that's what happened last time. And then I'll bring the IDE back up into the upper window so that you can see, and then I'll show the folder after I change all the folder names, of course, because I believe that the phone number gets attached to the folder names. I just prompted Claude Code to change the names of the files and the folders to a generic so I can view it. Messages, exported text. So I'll bring this back up into the window in one moment once it changes those names. All we did was I have my iPhone plugged into the computer. I downloaded the GitHub repository. Then I extracted those files to a normal folder and opened that folder with VS Code. Ran Claude in the terminal in that directory, and then told it what I need to use this open source tool for. Prompted me to back up my iPhone, which I had it run the Apple device app to back my iPhone up. And then I gave Claude Code the phone number of the conversation that I want to export. It looks like Claude put a filter over those files. I'll bring the IDE up into the window now. Looks like Claude put a filter over those files. I'm going to look here for, gotta go to my file explorer. I have no idea where this exported .text file is. Can you just tell me where the exported .text file is? That's all I want. Here it is. What? Now that the phone's been backed up and I gave Claude Code the phone number of the conversation that I wanted, I have to run in the terminal myself this command to get the exported messages. So I'm going to split the terminal right here. And I also had Claude hide the phone number. I gave it the phone number and then told it, can you hide the phone number? And then it created this file right here, and I just need to run this command. The iPhone has been backed up. I gave Claude Code the phone number of the conversation that I want backed up. And then I told Claude, for the sake of this video, hide the phone number. And in order for me to actually get the exported text messages, I have to manually run this command in the terminal. And I have to grab my encryption password. This is the point that I was talking about earlier, so I'll grab that really quick. I grabbed my iOS encryption password and pasted it right here. It's not going to show up because anytime you type a password into a terminal, it won't show up. And it's exported the text messages. And here's the location. I'm going to go to the File Explorer and check that. I wrote to the desktop last time as well. Boom. So here it is. This is an empty file that also showed up last time. Delete that. I'm not going to open this because there's sensitive information in here, but from here you can obviously do whatever you want to do with this text, and that's it. You have your exported text file. You can give it to a string parsing tool or a large language model or a private language model, depending on the sensitivity of information. I hope that this video was useful to anyone watching this. Take the easy way to use Claude Code, and you basically need almost no terminal skills to run this open source tool. Again, shout out to the creators and the developers that worked on this project, so you don't have to pay $30, $50 a month for a separate service.